Mr. Ranny Duck, and welcome back for another video. And today we are continuing the grind of the new Chinese heavy tank line, the rocket booster line. And today's video features the tier 8. So if you watched the previous video I had on the tier 7, you would have seen I explained how the rockets work. The tier 7 had 3 rocket boosters, the tier 8 has 4 rocket boosters. I'll just briefly explain it just in case you didn't watch that video, but you basically get a rocket booster which increases your top speed for a 10-second period and also increases your acceleration to reach that top speed. And you basically have them, like a consumable. You have 4 uses with this tank, and you can pick and choose when you use them by using the left on the D-pad. So what is the tier 8 like then? So you basically have a 420 alpha gun, which is quite nice because it can, it's one of these tanks I feel is a bit hit and miss. Like some games you're having a really good time because the shots are all hitting and not derping, and then when you're slapping them for the 420, it does feel quite good. You got basically 420 alpha with 221 penetration on your standard AP rounds, with 1000 shell velocity, which is quite nice for AP rounds. And then on your premium round, you've got 270 penetration with your heat rounds, but obviously you only have the poor 850 shell velocity because it is a traditional sort of heat round shell. I got with my crew and setup, which you'll see shortly, I've got 11.3 seconds reload, which is pretty good. And then you do have 10, well, so I say it's pretty good, which is pretty sort of average. And then you have a 10 degrees of gun depression, which is really nice. And then the real sort of slugfest on a tank is once you've run out of your rocket boosters, you only have a 30 kilometers an hour top speed. So once you've used them all, it can feel a bit sluggish, just like the tier 7 did. But yeah, over that, the armour's sort of okay, because of your gun depression. If you're using your turret armour, you can bounce a few shots. But again, I wouldn't rely on it, especially when you start fighting the tier 9 and the tier 10s. But it can be okay. So that's, I don't want to keep talking too much. I want to just get into the replays and we'll go over the tank as we speak. But let's move on to the replays. Okay, so on to the first replay then, where we are on Mountain Pass, and this time it is tier 10 matchmaking, so we are bottom tier. And if you want to see the crew and equipment I run in this tank, you can see it at the bottom of the screen as I speak. So initially on Mountain Pass, I'm going to want to go to the sort of heavy flank down the sort of right hand side of the map. And I'm going to use my rocket boosters to get across this crossing as quickly as possible, because if we get lit when we cross, we've got an opportunity, it gives the enemy an opportunity to shoot us, and we don't want to lose hit points before we've even got into the fight. So generally speaking, I use 2 to 3 rocket boosters in this tank to get to the key positions, and then I save one rocket booster for later on in the game when I need it, just in case I need to chase the damage, etc. That's a guideline of how I like to do it, because I think get to the key position as early as you can. That's going to give you a better opportunity of spotting the enemy team, getting the damage, and stopping you getting forced back from a position. And then you can have that other rocket boost stuff for when you need it later in the game. On shorter maps, you might only need to use sort of 2 to get into position, but I like to have the sort of 2 to 3 guidelines what I tend to use. So you can see already we push into this position, and we are matched up with a tier 10 chisel. So we're going to need to be a little bit careful here. We can pen his cupola, but it's going to be an awkward pen if he's playing it correctly. If he just shows us our drive ball, maybe we'll get an opportunity to get a shot in. And there is a little bit of a fight coming on, but thankfully I've got a few of my teammates who have came to try and help me. And you can see I've already bounced 2 shots off of the chisel there. I put one into that VZ for its lower plate, and then I pull back behind my cover to try and stay hold down the best I can. I can't really poke too much because there's a lot of tanks, potentially can get shots on me if I over poke, but I do manage to block another shot off of that chisel. You can see the armour can work. It can be okay, but you just have to be careful, not to rely upon, especially when you're shooting all your gun depression. There's a little bit underneath the turret which you can shoot when you do that, so you've got to be careful with that. But we managed to get another shot into the, we got a shot into the chisel for his cupola and bounce, so far I bounced sort of 1,600 damage. So we're sort of eating shots for our team, which is good. This enemy heavy tank has pushed up aggressively. I want to try and get a shot into him while, it's a top tier heavy while I can. Unfortunately, that shot doesn't pen on his lower plate there. Our friendly team are sort of applying the pressure and moving up. But this is a kind of a 50-50 battle here. We've got to be really careful. Looking to try and find a shot onto the chisel. Can we pen for the bottom part of his turret with the heat? Yes, we can, and we pick up our first kill of the game. We do then unfortunately eat a shot from that VZ, but at least we're taking out a tier 10 tank. Put one in through the enemy T-77, putting them on a one shot, but unfortunately the enemy heavy tank tier 10 put a big shot into us, and that's put us onto under, well, half hit points now, which is not ideal, but we are at least winning this side, which is good. But, you know, starting to take care of the tanks. If we can kill this VZ here, I'm looking for the tiniest shot, and it hits. And this is the thing with this tank is, sometimes it can be really fun because you're slapping them with those big shots, but sometimes if you don't fully aim it, you can derp, so it's a bit like hit and miss, if you like. I've got the accuracy down to about 0.36 with, you know, with my setup. I do think you want to use stabs on this, but now we've won this area of the map, I'm using my rocket boosters to boost to the damage, and I want to try and kill the T-77. Unfortunately, I've clipped my teammate there. I really didn't mean to. It's a little bit hard to control your tank when you're in the rocket mode, because you've got to be careful of. I've got to be careful with this Conway. I have no idea what gun he's using. If he's using the big gun, he can one-shot us, so I've got to be a bit careful here. But he's backed up enough so he's not going to be able to shoot, and we're pushing in. He should get killed by my friendly teammate here on the left, and I think he will actually manage to take him out there, and he does, which is good. And it's now only 6 tanks remaining. We've got about 3 kills and 2,000 damage with 1,600 blocks. So having a decent game, considering we are bottom tier here, bottom tier matchmaking. And I'm just trying to find where the next better damage is going to come from. I think it's really these tanks on the base, because I'm out of the rocket boosters now. Do not have good top speed, so I just want to try and get to the damage as early as possibly. Thankfully, the damage wasn't too far away. Enemy artillery here. I could have penned him with the HE rounds, but I didn't have it loaded. It would have been nice, because you do have 550 alpha on your HE rounds with 61 penetration. But he gets put onto a one-shot now anyway. Hopefully we can finish off this artillery before he tries to leave there. We should have the kill. You can see using these ridge lines here is nice. At 10 degrees of gun depression for a heavy tank like this, it is, I think that's one of the things which I do really enjoy with this tank, other than the fact when you have to pick and choose your rocket boosters. The things I don't enjoy with the tank is once you've used all the rocket boosters, and if you're chasing damage, it's really awkward. There's a Waffle 100 here. We managed to put a shot into him, putting him onto a one shot, but obviously I've got to be very, very careful with the Waffle. He can kill me very, very quickly. If he's using the big gun on my one shot, if he's using the small gun, which he probably is on my two shot, but he gets those shots over really, really quickly. I was looking to try and get a shot in. Unfortunately, he spotted me before I was able to spot him, because I couldn't get my sort of cupola round, and now this is awkward because I am a one shot. I obviously can't poke around this corner without dying, unless Waffles and reload, but I have no idea. Like, I know he's shot at least one round because he shot it at me, but is he on reload? I don't really want to risk gambling it. I think I want to wait for my teammates to get closer to me, but the Waffle actually comes round for the kill on me, and that gives me the opportunity to pick up our 5th kill of the game and bring this then to replay number 1. How did we get on then? We do manage to get 3,500 damage, 5 kills, 1,600 block, and we do get the ace tanker, as we was quite heavily bottomed here in that replay. But let's move on to replay number 2 to see how we get on. Okay, so here we are for the final replay on Azure Coast here, where we are top tier in this replay, and there is no enemy artillery and 1 enemy light tank. I'm not a massive fan of this map, if I'm honest, but that's the card been dealt with. At least we don't have to worry about the fun police. Again, you can see here I'm going to use my rocket boosters at the start of the game by pushing left on the D-pad, just to try and get into my position where I like to head to as quickly as I can. Because I want to get there early, because it gives me a better opportunity to get some damage in. So I'm going to have to use 2 here. I'm thinking, do I want to use a 3rd one? I think maybe I can just save it in this game. I think I might just try and save it and have 2 for later, because my team is still catching up with me anyway. As I move into position, enemy heavy tank gets spotted. I hit the shot, and then I use my rocket booster, because otherwise I'm caught out in the open. I'm going to take a lot of damage. Thankfully, I had that, and that rocket booster kind of allowed me to escape getting hit there. Otherwise, I could have been penned twice, and that wouldn't have been a great start to the game. So, thankfully for me, we managed to get into position, getting a shot off of our own and not really losing any damage. So, another enemy BZ-166 is in front of us, and he is platooned with another BZ-166. So, I imagine that they're probably going to work together, which could make my life difficult if they push me at the same time. because I guess we're fairly evenly split, but yeah, a lot of our team are on the beach. At this point, I know there's quite a few tanks coming this way, so got to be a little bit careful. I was kind of waiting to see if I spotted that 166 crossing, but it hasn't really been the case. So I'm going to move forward because I want to try and get some damage in and actually help my team. We do manage to put a nice big shot there onto that Panzerjäger, which is good, putting us on to just shy of 800 damage. Like I say, that 420 alpha does feel nice, because you just really, especially when you fight in tier 8, you take away a lot of their hit points in one shot. Now we bounce a shot off of that 166, and I'm just thinking that he does have a platoon mate. The one thing I'm worried about is him pushing me from this side and the other tank coming behind us, because then if they did that at the same time, we're going to be in an awkward situation. So I'm trying to keep an eye on that. I don't really want that to happen. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to be in trouble. I like tanks in a bit of trouble, trying to back up to give them some space. Really want to take the rock here so I can just try and battle this heavy tank. I want to start taking hit points off these tanks quickly. Unfortunately, I snapped that shot, bounced the lower plate, but so did he. So no harm done there, but it would have been nice to actually have penned that shot. And this is where, to be honest, I'm going to have a few bounces. I missed that shot. I was going for its lower plate. Not ideal. You actually kind of need to hit the lower part of the lower plate. I do actually have the heat shells loaded here. I think maybe from this point I should actually just be going through the turret with his heat shells. That was just a poor shot. And at the start of this battle, I'm thinking, what am I doing? I keep bouncing shots. This is not good because I'm getting pushed by 2 tanks now. This time I opt to use the heat shell through his turret. It was turned a little bit, which allowed me to pen it there because the turret face become a bit flat, so easy pen for my heat shells. Trying to finish off the one shot, which we do. That is going to help us out nicely, picking up our first kill. But you can see I'm just conscious that another tank's going to come behind us here. But so far we've actually managed to sort of bounce these shots, which is good. So it's kind of helped. There you go, I bounced that shot there. This is, I think, one of the first times I actually came fighting at 166 myself. I think this is probably like the, yeah, this is early days playing this tank. So unfortunately bounced that shell there. We do manage to put one in for the top of his upper back, but now the platoon mate is with him. Thankfully one's a one shot, so I'm going to try and push and kill this one shot heavy tank here, which I really need to take out in one round because I'm under a bit of pressure here. I do have help from my team. We do manage to put one into the lower plate, picking up, and now we're in a sort of even fight here with this enemy heavy tank. So we're on about just shy of 2,000 damage. Thankfully gets put onto one shot by the help of our team, and we're able to pick up the kill, putting us on to 3 kills with 2,000 damage and 2,100 blocked. And this is still a very even game. I mean, enemy team do have the lead, but I feel like killing those 2 top tier heavy tanks is going to help us out nicely. And it's going to allow this game to open up to get more damage in. You can see these 2 tanks here, which hopefully I should be able to come behind. I opt to go around the left on the rock here to avoid in case there's tanks in their base which can shoot us. Should have a nice easy shot onto this tank, which we do. Put them onto a one shot. Should get finished off by our Panzerjäger there. If not, we'll be able to finish him off ourselves. But he does actually get derped by our Sturmpanzer. And now I'm just looking, where is the next bit of damage I can get to? I only got 1 rocket left. I'm thinking the quickest bit damage route to me is probably the 3 tanks which were on the beach. So I'm going to push these tanks. I'm a little bit concerned if the enemy team push our base. So there's 2 tanks pushing it at the moment, but they're quite far away, so they're not going to be able to cap out straight away, and I want to just try and get to the damage. Obviously got to be careful if there is tanks still in the enemy base. You'd like to think they would have moved up by now because they wouldn't have been shooting anything, but you really just never know. But I'm going to try and push up and get some side shots into these medium tanks here in this tank destroyer, see if we can pick up some more damage out of this game. We do have easy side shots. We let that shot aim in and we pick up another shot of damage, putting us onto 3,000 damage. With still 6 tanks remaining, there's still a lot more out of this game for us. Can we get a nice shot into that medium? He just pulls back round, so I'd have to overextend to shoot him. So I opt to wait here to try and shoot the Jägerpanzer here, where we pick up the kill, picking up our 4th kill and putting us onto 3,300 damage. His enemy light tank is a one shot, so I don't want to waste my time trying to kill him when he's going to get killed by a team anyway. So I'm just going to try and leave him whilst keeping my turret turned just in case he popped behind me and I could actually kill him. And there's only 3 tanks remaining, so 4 kills, 3,200 damage. We've got 2,300 blocks. You see, when you are top tier like this, the armour definitely can work for you as shown, and we've got 400 assistance. But I'm hoping by the fact that we've actually got into the base, but that's probably going to turn the enemy team who was heading to our base back, and then I might actually end up meeting them. That's what I want, because I want to get some more damage before we cap out, and thankfully that is what's happened. Now we've got an AT-15 who's pretty much full health, so we go for the tumour sort of composer there, putting us on to just shy of 4,000, and thankfully for me our team actually get out of the cap circle, which was nice because now I can actually try and get as much damage out of this as we can. We put the AT-15 onto a one shot. He does pen us, but we should be able to finish him off the next shot unless we really low roll here. No, it shouldn't be possible. We should actually kill this tank. And we do, putting this on to 4,000 sort of 500 damage with 3,000 block now, and 1 tank remaining, which is the heavy tank which was heading towards our cap circle. So I'm just going to try and hope that I get there in time. It would be really nice to pick up another shot of damage. It would be even better if we can pick up the kill shots and we'd be able to get the Top Gun medal for the 6th kill. But we're just going to have to wait and see if we can get there in time. It looks like we may get an opportunity. He's fighting our medium tank, but he does poke round and we get a nice shot there, putting him onto a one shot. We wasn't able to get the kill, but it does put us closer to the 5,000 damage mark. Bring this then to the video here. So I hope you enjoyed it. We get 5 kills, 5,000 damage. Do in fact get the ace tanker. But of course I will be continuing the grind and getting videos in all the tanks in this line. So if you do like the channel, please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!